What's going on, everybody? It's Thursday, and it is noon, and it is time for coding things in real life on a Thursday. And our streams are Tuesday and Thursday, and today is Thursday, so we'll be doing a stream today. And I went ahead without you. I apologize for the infidelity, but I'm sure you'll understand. And I went ahead and finished up the map, or I made it to a point where it makes some logical sense. You know, sort of the scaffolding, so that we can build off of it and make something really beautiful. Logical sense. That makes us all very proud of what it is. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everybody who watches, who tunes in. You guys mean the world to me, and I wouldn't be doing this without you, literally. So you guys are awesome. If you are new, make sure you hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Do the subscribe on YouTube, and follow on Twitch. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, where I left you guys last time, we were working on Dark Hallway, and we were making it from being just a hallway to being a full map. And this is what we have. Sorry about the camera, I don't know what's going on. Check it out. Now you can't really see it, but there's an issue with the floor, and I've dealt with that on my other computer, and I pushed the change. But look at that, we got hallways, and this is essentially just a map of numbers that represent the hallway. I think this is empty right here. If we get rid of the darkness, we can see it better, but I have a commit that should fix the floor. So why don't I pull that down real quick and we can see how it does. Alright, I don't need the cache file. Go ahead and get rid of that. I should be fetching the origin and pulling the origin. Displace the floor. Alright, let's see how we did with displacing the floor. Not really sure. I can't really tell. Let's go into our constants and let's reduce the level of darkness. The levels of darkness. Yeah, why don't we go ahead and drop that in half so we can see a little better. It's not doing much for us right now. Let's decrease the haze instead. The haze is right here, so we're at 0.9. Let's drop that down to 0.7 instead. Alright, cool. Now we can see our floor. It's there, it's red. It's looking alright. This level right here is supposed to be the school. So, I mean, it doesn't look like a school right now. Right now it just looks like an empty hallway with messed up walls, kind of. So the task would be to make it look more like a school, I guess, but there's other things that we can do to the map in general to make it more what we need it to be. And then for starters, this is my shroud of darkness right here. So this should be basically like following me around everywhere I look. Everywhere I look, there should be a shroud of darkness. That's what the game is about. A shroud of darkness, essentially. Alright, guys. Thank you for joining me. Let me know if you're here in the chat. Send some love or ask some questions. Let me know what's going on. And let me know if there's anything you want to see. discuss. If you got any suggestions for the game, I think right now maybe we'll work on creating a mini map. If anybody has anything else that they want to suggest, let me know in the chat, and we'll shift focus. But for right now, I think we'll go ahead and create a mini map. All right, so mini map. Our mini map is going to be yet another entity, but it's going to be a 2D entity. So, like anything else, we'll create a class for it. Mini map.py. Okay. And let's go ahead and bring in all of Ursina. So from Ursina, import all. Star is all. Then we'll start creating our class, which is going to extend either entity or button. I think we're going to want button. I'm not sure exactly why. I don't really remember. But for all the UI elements, I think for everything else, we go ahead and use button. I could be mistaken. Let's see. Here we have the inventory. There we got an entity, but I think that the actual, like, children of it, they're going to be a button. Yeah, right there. There's a button. See? There's another one. They're different buttons. They do different things, but I guess what we can do, we'll just create an entity for now. We'll make it as extending an entity to be exact. So class, what do we got here? Oh, 0.2.2. Yeah. That looks pretty good. Only thing I want to change about that is I want to pass in the array map. So let's go ahead and pass that in to this class, and then we'll inject it and assign it locally so that we can use it later. I like using my local variables as underscore. If this were C# or I guess another, maybe Java has it, I'm not sure, but if we were offering protected classes, I would make these protected, and then for anything that needs to be accessed publicly, I would give it a getter or setter. But since this is Python, we're kind of limited in what we can do. I mean, we're not limited per se, but it's not practical for us to create something just for private variables, or unless I'm missing something about Python. If anybody wants to chime in and correct me about that, let me know. But I think that in Python in general, we're not worried about what's private. It's the same with JavaScript. I don't think that we, as far as I know, I don't think we have private and public in JavaScript. Again, let me know if I'm wrong on that one. All right, back to the mini map. So we're passing in the map, and what we want to do is we want to create another function to draw the mini map. And I do not like the indentation here. It's too much for me. Much too much. All right. So I do like update. Update works for me. Rotation. I'm not sure what it's doing here at all. I'm going to change this out, and I'm going to make this draw. Yeah, I don't need all that. I just need to know which part of this is a 1 and which part of this is a 0 in the map for now. Take a look at my map, my map class real quick. So I have a build map here, and that's doing hallway segments and all that. Now, I would use the exact same set of loops here to build the mini map, except I would do, you know, maybe just a drawing function instead. I don't see any harm in just building that map right here, and then returning it. But then it would render somewhere, unless I give it a disable by default. Just sounds like the wrong thing to do. I got map on here. I'll just create the function from scratch here. As much as I try not to repeat myself, sometimes it's just easier. Don't quote me on that, though. Some people would excoriate me for saying something like that. Sometimes it's just easier. It is, though. Quick drink of water. How you guys doing today? All right. So for our draw function, we are going to be looping through our map. But we're also going to need to know what the player position is. So I think we're not necessarily worried about the camera right now. I think we can just call camera UI, and it's pretty much just globally available. But in this case, the player, we want to know which player we're talking about. And the map updates as well. All right, so let's assign it. Now let's create 2 more functions. Draw hallway segment. Pass for now. And draw player. Pass again for now. Here we're going to start a loop. For hallway segment, no, that's not going to be it. For, we'll say I and self, yeah, exactly. Then we'll do draw the hallway segments or draw player. Yeah, we can do that. Except I don't think, I'm not sure. I don't think we want to do it like that. we have self.player.position equals IOJ. Then we'll do self.drawPlayer, which is saying that if our position that we're drawing in right now is the same as the player's current position, which is something we're going to have to assign repeatedly via our update function, which we also need to create. Let's go ahead and fill this in before we start regretting it. All right. So now we'll go ahead and do update. We need to figure out how we're going to get player back to here. I'm not sure. Oh, the chair's too far back. There we go. That's more my speed. I was wondering why I was feeling so relaxed. All right. So we need to figure out how we're going to get player back into here, but if we're lucky, then we're passing it in by reference, and we'll be able to just, whenever we call the position, it'll actually be the updated position. I don't know if Python works that way or not. We're going to be optimistic and just, hope that that is the way that it works. So in theory, all we need to do is call draw on the mini-map repeatedly, and it will update itself because I think the update function is called in frame. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. In Ursina, the update function that you can override is called in sequence with your frame rate, which is nice. You don't have to worry about overcalling or whatever. Timing. It handles timing well. Alright, so draw player. How are we going to do this? Maybe we'll create another class for class map hallway or mini map hallway square segment. I'm gonna set the texture to white cube, and I'm gonna say self dot color equals color azure. It's like a bluish color, I think. I think that might be Spanish. Now we're setting the mini map to scale 0.2.2. I think we want to set our minimap square to something pretty small, but it's going to be proportional to whatever our map is. So I think we'll have to get the scale before we initialize each segment. So probably here. And let's create a function that's for hey Adesh Kulkarni. Should you learn TypeScript? Probably not. It shouldn't be on your list of priorities, I'd say. it's definitely a good thing to learn if you're just looking to learn something, because you have nothing left to learn. But it should definitely not be on your list of priorities. I would put Python above TypeScript personally. Thank you for the question. Okay. I'll leave that 0.2.2. I'll get rid of all this, and I'll assume that that's correct for some reason. And one thing, though, is I think that the parent is not going to be camera.ui at this point. It's going to be the mini map, which is going to have to be passed in. So we'll pass that in as mini map. Hello, can you hear me? Let's see. Sorry, the audio just clipped in my ears. I gotta check. Can you hear me? Yeah, I think you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Hello? Yes, I say hello. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for confirming. Alright, so the parent, we're going to have to set that to the mini map. Thank you for confirming, Adesh. It's helpful. I usually start my stream off with confusion and not knowing that my audio has been muted, because that's how OBS likes to start out for some reason, with confusion and muting me. Big Boss Kabyle. Hope I'm saying that right. What's up? How's it going? Just hanging out. Working on the dark hallway, which we currently have. We have a world set up. See, have I broken it yet? It's probably broken. No, it's not. So we have our world set up, which is corresponding with a map that I'm creating. And I'm just trying to quickly throw together a mini map so that we can see where we are in relation to the player position. Adesh with another question. I know React.js for front end, and then should I learn Next.js or learn back end? So if you know React, I'd say you're probably pretty advanced. I'd say you could go with both. You could definitely juggle that load. If you say you know React, as in you fully understand state, and you understand, you've used Redux, you've used different libraries, and you understand when to use the right hooks. What's the really confusing one? Use I'm not the biggest anyway, if you understand the advanced concepts of React, I'd say that you should probably dabble in both backend and Next.js. So Next.js is something that a lot of employers are looking for, and for backend, I always recommend going with like a business-oriented stack, like SQL and Java and C# and .NET and all that stuff. That way you can really ensure that you're going to get a job, especially if that's your goal. With most, I'll be honest, most people they're looking for a job. So yeah, I mean, that's what I did. I started to learn PHP, which got me a job, and then switched to .NET, which was just advancing in my job, and then I was offered more jobs just because I was able to understand .NET and SQL and all that stuff. And the job offers that I was receiving was my negotiating tactic for my current job at the time. So more money. Then that was the natural progression for me. Could do something about these corners here. It's not very appealing. It's just probably just a gentle nudge forward. Or backwards, depending on which way you're looking at it. So yeah, dude, if you're advanced enough to learn React, I'd say go for anything that you can learn. Just do it all. I definitely recommend looking at job listings that are relevant to you, that are local and or online, and make a list of all the different things you see. Put a tick mark every time you see it, and then whatever has the most tick marks is the thing that you should learn. That's how I ended up learning a lot of things that I learned today. Okay. All right, the mini map is something that we've never incorporated. So we wanted to make it to where we have a section of the hallway for the mini map that is the filled-in section that corresponds with our hallway, which is what you saw me walking through just then. And for that, we're going to use the white cube texture and the color azure. And what else do we need? I don't think we need anything else. In fact, yeah, okay, this is probably fine. We're probably going to need an offset. We're going to need an origin, yada yada. But let's just see what we end up with here. I mean, it's definitely going to require a position. A dash with another question. What should we do diff? So we get a job in terms of project and tech. Definitely what you need to do is you need to have complete projects. Try to work with other people. That's something that would stand out. Complete project with something modern. Use a modern API. Show that you have understanding of app development. Definitely developing apps will help you. If I were looking for somebody to hire and I saw that they knew what they were doing with, environment variables, and if they had created an app that had like migrations and like the real deal, like the whole 9 yards, I would definitely be more likely to hire them than somebody that just say had a degree. But then the third person that what you guys face, that's really the hardest part, is that the third person that I would see that had all their degree and then they also had, years of experience, that's the person that I would hire first before all three of you or both of you. So, yeah, that's the reality of it. But, you can definitely go in with an edge. And your probability of finding a job, I'll be honest with you, is low. But your chance of success goes up with the number of times repetition that you do, and then how prepared you are for a particular situation. And that's why I recommend writing down the number of times that you see a particular technology listed in job listings. Focus on the most listed ones, and go after those specifically, and then just keep interviewing for those positions until you get the interviews, and then you interview, and then I'll be honest, you probably don't get the job, and then you keep going and keep going and keep going, and then finally you get the job. I've had the most success personally where I'm at with local jobs. I don't know where you're located. But when I go and I meet people and I see them face to face, that's when I have the most success. I can't actually list any online jobs that I've actually accepted, except for one. But it's within 100 miles of me. Yeah, no problem at all. I love answering questions. I love talking about the tech industry. I love talking about programming. So it's my absolute pleasure to answer your questions. All right. Let's get rid of the stray hyphen that I made. Okay, readjust myself. All right, I think we're looking good to go with the mini map. Hallway segment. But we need to... So instead of doing this draw hallway segment, I think what we want to do is create one of these and then change its position to something that is relative to 1, 1. So probably 1 divided by whatever number we have. Not really, no. More like 1/10 of the number that we have. Which may be that, I don't know. Don't ask me math right now. It's midday. Morning is the time for math for me. Morning math. They both start with M. Right? So draw hallway segments is what we're doing here. So let's comment both of these out. Comment this out. Yeah, I think that's almost going to be right. I think we're going to have to divide that position by something. Let's give it another variable to pass in called hasPlayer. No, because if we do, I was thinking about giving each square their own variable that says hasPlayer, but if we do that, we'll basically be just ticking along each square with the player. We don't want that. We want our player to appear fluid. So it's something, we're going to have to create another separate entity for it and then update its position. So it can't belong to a square. So it has to be its own class. So mini map player. And yeah, it's going to be red. We're not setting the scale of it right here, which is, I don't know how that's going to go. But I think we're good to go there. Let's create a local variable to keep the minimap player. And then in our update function, or in our draw function, I guess, a little bit of a logic split there, but that's fine for now. We'll take the minimap player, and we'll just set his little position. I'm wondering, this is something we only want to do once. We only want to draw the hallway segment once. There's no reason to do it twice, right? I don't think so. I mean, not right now. We'll just set a little variable here called drawn. And then here we'll do if not self dot drawn, not that, then we'll do that. And then at the end of this function, if I can find the end of this function, because this is Python and that's hard to do, we will assign that little variable to, please stop Please stop doing that. There we go. And is that the... Yeah, that looks like the right place. Right level of indentation. But it looks goofy. Because, again, this is Python. I could put a little if statement and catch the last iteration here, but that would be stupid. Be very stupid. How's my connection? I just realized I'm on Wi-Fi. Am I stuttering or anything? Is there any latency? I'm scared. I almost want to plug in the Ethernet cable. I have a Cat 6 cable, but I'm scared of what might happen. Okay. There we go. I have this Wi-Fi antenna. Oh, geez. Is that my camera? I think my camera's going out. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. I think it'll be back. It usually comes back, so just wait for it. Alright, so there's the mini-map hallway segment. And then we're going to draw it once. But the mini-map player we're going to draw continuously. So that we can call this in the update function continuously. And we're done with this class, I think. What's going on here? I'm pressing backspace. Uh-oh. It's not a good sign when your keyboard doesn't work. It's a light up keyboard. I can see the light on it. But there's... Can you guys still hear me? Ugh. See if that works better. Switch to a different port. Yes. Back in business. Sorry about that, folks. Alright, we should be good here now that we can delete. And our mini-map class should be good to go. I think. Yes. If self.player position is... What does that mean? Self.player .position self.minimap.player. Okay, yeah. Okay, if my player, if I am in that position. Okay, yeah. Good enough. Good enough. Alright, so now we need to bring this into our granddaddy class, our hallway class. Here we have an update function somewhere. There it is, just like I said it would be. And yeah, I forgot. We actually have to import our mini-map. Little baby mini-map. And it would probably be a good idea to bring him here too. Self.map. Yeah, I think it's actually going to be map layout. Because remember, it's something else. Something else. Where's the map? I feel like the map should go somewhere else. I feel like all of this should go somewhere else. I need to revise all of this, but yeah, by now we do have a map, and it's here. And the map class has a property called map layout, all caps. And that's the one that we need to be passing into minimap as the array. because it expects an array. See that? Array. Array. My bad. Alright, so the long and short of that is that this needs to be got map layout like that. Right? I have that right, don't I? Yeah. Okay. Wait. Now back in hallway, we can go to update here, and we can call self.minimap, not update, because we decided to be different. We're going to call it draw. Alright, moment of truth. Alright, I think it's a little big. And I don't think it's updating with the player position. I suspect that the Ravi Mehta with a question. Hi, can I have your mail? I have a great project in mind. Maybe we can make a good team. You can DM me on Twitter. You can search for @codingthingsIRL. If you need the spelling, it's on my YouTube channel. Feel free to send me a YouTube channel. Sorry, YouTube. DM on Twitter, and we can talk about it more there. To be honest, my schedule is extremely busy. I barely have times. All right, cool. I barely have time for these streams as it is. So the likelihood of me being able to contribute any effort on any additional project is very low. Just putting that out there straight away. But you can definitely reach out to me on Twitter. Anybody can. Feel free. All right. So first of all, let's go ahead and reduce the scale of our mini-map and see if what we see looks like an actual mini-map, or because I mean, I know we see up there it's just like it looks like just a line of squares. Maybe there's more to it that we're not seeing. So if we take the scale of it and we drop it down even lower than 0.2, let's say 0.05, even really small. Let's see what that does. Okay, it is still just a line. Alright, so our mini-map hallway segments are being drawn with the position I and J and 0 here. That's kind of interesting. It almost seems like X and Y are the actual ones that I need to be dealing with. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so now we have the actual mini-map up there. And we need to move it lower than 0.1. And I think that's going to be negative... Sorry, lower than 0. It's going to be about negative 0.5. Just to see it moving. It looked like it went up. Let's make it go down. I hope we can make it go down. This is a very frustrating coordinate system because the way that they do 2D is different than the way that they do 3D. So I have no idea. I think that we're translating on the Y. I don't think that the Z is doing a damn thing. So on the Y, why don't we just subtract 0.5 for now? On the Y. Why not? I still don't see anything going. Let's try 4 then. Okay, now I see something there. Okay, there it is. Alright, what's happening is our scale is affecting how much our translations are working. But that's great. That's great news. So now we can really play with this. Let's move it down a lot more with 40. Okay, that's too much. Okay, that's way too much. Yeah, I knew that was a bad idea. Let's go with 10. How does 10 look? There's 10. There's our mini map. What do you think? Does it look like our map? Yeah, it does. It totally does. It's not exactly... Yeah, I can't see the... It's the right color, but I don't see the player square yet. Not yet. But that's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass in the player position. You know what I'm also going to do is I'm going to also make it to where you can't run into the walls anymore, because it's kind of wacky. So where's the wall? Yeah, all I have to do is re-add self collider is box. And then my walls should once again be solid. Boom. Yeah. And don't worry about that mini map. I know that it's A, not mini, and B, not in the right place. But we're gonna go ahead and deal with that in a second. I just want to fix the position, the player position thing first. So when we are calling draw to our mini map, we are accessing player, which is assigned when we create mini map, and we are passing in player when we are creating this class, but it doesn't update, unfortunately, because we're not passing this in by reference. We're just creating a copy of it, essentially. So this is doing nothing. I'm still going to leave it because I think it looks cool, but it is doing nothing. What we have to do instead is in our draw function, we have to pass player in, and then we can assign player, and then this code should work, basically. Maybe, yeah. I'm not sure. It could be that the actual position of the player never touches that number, which is between 0 and, I don't know, 8, and 0 and, I don't know, 20 or something. I don't know. It's a low number between 0 and 100 each. So we could easily see if we ever became that number. Also, are we dealing with, and we're probably dealing with precise numbers, very small decimals. And if we're trying to compare them to each other, then they should be normalized or rounded. So let's go ahead and just, after saying all that, before even passing in player right there, let's just do console, or not JavaScript, I keep forgetting. Print self.player position. And we'll correct the spelling as well. And that's all. So if we look closely in the console, we should see a ton of VAC3s. And as I suspected, we're starting to see, very precise to the 4 decimal place accuracy numbers, which means that this comparison right here equals blah blah is not going to work for us. We're going to need to use a greater than less than. So if it's greater than blah blah, let me think. Alright, here's what I'll do. I'll create a variable called player placed. Player placed. and we'll set it to false. And this is a very simple device, and it's very shameful. So we'll check and see if that player's placed, and if it is not, then we'll place the player. And if it is, we won't place the player. So we're only placing the player one time. And let's comment that out for now. I don't think I need that anymore. So we're going to be placing the player. One thing to note is that we did actually pass in the player by reference, which is pretty cool. Alright, let's see what's going on here. I'm wondering if greater than and equal comparison is actually going to work. Let's see if we're actually getting anything when we get this. So we got print player, print self dot player, yeah, all that. Okay, we're getting that every frame. We're getting that every single frame. So what gives? Why aren't we seeing the player being placed? So we got minimap player here, and it's the parent of it is self. Now we might want to go camera.ui for that. I'm thinking, yeah, it should really share the same properties as the minimap hallway segment. And it looks like they're both assigned to parent minimap. So, yeah, in theory that should work. Oh, see, this one right here, I get it. Alright, so we had to switch J around because actually we're dealing with X and Y, not X and Z, like we would be in 3 dimensions. There we go. So there's the X. There's the what you call it, the player's position. But it's not updating, right? And I'm getting all these prints. Where are these prints coming from? I'm getting mesh and false and all this. I'm not sure where I'm actually seeing that. But I got this working, and the player position. I should be seeing this updating though. So why don't I go ahead and print this out? I hope this other weird print that we're finding here doesn't get in our way too much. But I just want to see what is the player's actual position. Okay, it stopped updating there for a second. Or I'm not sure what happened, but the numbers look like they stopped updating. So we got 40 and 6 and all this stuff, and in theory, whenever we go from 11.29 and all that to this, it should be changing. And I did notice also that we're comparing the Y to what is the vertical level in 3 dimensions, like I mentioned. So we're going to have to convert it a little bit. Not Amanula. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining. So really what we're going to do is we're going to be comparing the individual numbers. So this actually has it correct. It's position 2. But I think that we want to check and see if our position ends up being greater than that number. Now there's a weird thing here because we end up going negative, but not by much. So I'm not sure. I think what may be happening is that we are traveling half the width of, or half the length of the field, and then starting at the 0 origin. So I think that the furthest we can go is like negative whatever, and then a negative half of the length of the entire thing, and then the furthest in the other direction is positive. Let's see. Okay, I saw the red dot wasn't there, and then it was there. So one thing is that if it's 18 and 43, this number down here, that might actually be correct. If that is the Cartesian coordinate number for that, and I'm dealing with an offset number, then this is not the right way to do it. Let's just see if we can play with this a little bit, because I do want to see it working. We are starting here. Let's see, 28 and 22. Somehow is what we're starting at. It's pretty weird. Let's see. Why don't we grab the player's position when we start and then just delta it. So self.player start position. I'm not sure if this is a good idea at all. But we'll see. Let's see, self.player.position. I hope that that's not a reference like the other one is, and it's not gonna. Well, I guess we can quickly figure that out by printing it. So let's uncomment this. Comment this instead, and let's see if we get a constant value here. If it's not a constant value, I'm gonna have a problem with this method. I'm gonna have to really rethink this. Okay, that's good. We do have a constant method, and it's 0, 0, 0. That is not what I expected. So if I'm getting 0, 0, 0 here, and let me just back my way up. Beep, beep, beep. Anyway, so when I log the self player position here, okay, so I am at, all right, I do start at 0. Okay, that's good. There we go. Okay, sorry. Whew. All right, that's good. So when I go to 0, 0 should be where I'm placed on the map. You know what? I'm going to make a little chop on the map and see where that ends up in relation to me. So when I go over to my map class, damn, is that camera not working the entire time? Hold on. 1 second, folks. Actually, no, I'm not gonna bother with it right now because I gotta go soon. I know. Is there anybody still watching? If there's nobody still watching, I'll go ahead and end the stream. Let me know if you're still here, and we'll continue finish this up. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and continue it another time. Going once. Going twice. Anybody still there? Anybody at all? Last call. All right. Thanks so much for the people that joined when they did. We'll go ahead and continue this next time. And probably look for another stream maybe later tonight. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. Have a great life. And I'll see you next time.